Okay, we're doing a take two. The tech gremlins have been playing mischief again. So what can you do? I've got a growth mindset, so I'm leaning into challenges, and you'll hear more about that on the teaching today. Welcome. This is take two of session two, the Learning Mini-Masterclass series, and I'm learning a lot about how to deliver a live video through Zoom onto Facebook. Thank you for joining me, and I will be getting going very shortly. I am just about to share the I want to share this video into the Webinars for GPs group, and as soon as I've got that done, we will get going properly. And okay, let's do this. Sharing a group. I really appreciate you bearing with me. Okay, there we go. Oops, I'm sorry, I may have lost some colleagues who have to start back with their afternoon session. Such is life as a GP. You know this as well as me, that life does not go smoothly, and the tech doesn't always go smoothly. And I've learned that over the 6 years of running weekly live and interactive CPD webinars for GPs. I'm Simon Wade, the Webinar GP, if you don't know me. And I'm just going to share with you two more tips today from our Learning Mini-Series Masterclass. So let's get going. Okay. So I'm confident we're going to do a little bit better this time. I realized what was wrong last time. So we will, oops. Okay, here we go. The science of learning and how to make things stick efficiently. And we're looking at items 3 and 4, getting your mind right and the fluency illusion. There we go, mindset and the fluency illusion. So we need to get this. Okay, third thing, getting our minds right. So there are 3 aspects to having the right mindset for learning. First thing is hope. Second thing is growth mindset. Third thing is grit. So hope, to do the work, we need to be able to see a better future for ourselves. We need to be able to see that doing the learning and the work and the CPD will improve our future. We're not going to be motivated to do the work if we don't see a better future for ourselves. And we need to be able to see how doing the work will impact our future. So that should be fairly straightforward with CPD. So the science of hope, you have to lead yourself by seeing a better future, knowing that you have the power to make that future better, and be willing to take different strategies in order to bring that better future to fruition. Henry Ford, his witty quote, "Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right." There's a lot of wisdom in that wit. What am I trying to say? Your mindset will predict your outcome. If you think you can do something, typically you can. If you have a negative mindset and think you can't do something, typically you'll end up failing. So creating hope in yourself and knowing that you can do better. And this is connected to the next aspect of mindset, which is having a growth mindset. So this is growth mindset comes from Carol Dweck, who's a very prominent psychologist in the USA, and she looks at the idea of having a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. So a fixed mindset will avoid challenges. This is the primary difference between the two mindsets, whereas a growth mindset will lean in to challenges. Strategies for learning, it's all about challenges with learning and being willing to experience the challenges. Growth mindset, if with a growth mindset we're willing to experience something called disfluency, so desirable difficulties, not just doing the easy stuff, but going out of our comfort zone and doing stuff that's harder. So you've got to know that you're strong, you've got to know that you're capable, and you can get better. Those are all features of the growth mindset. And you know, you're listening to this, you're a GP, you have had a growth mindset, otherwise how would you have got through medical school? So challenge the growth mindset, it challenges that, you know, your fuel for growth, and you're getting, the challenges are your fuel for growth, and you're getting better. So, you know, not being afraid to meet challenges, step up, expand your knowledge, even though it's uncomfortable. And with a growth mindset, you're not threatened by challenges, you're inspired by them. Often, when you face a challenge, it can be confusing. When you're learning some new medical information as part of CBD, it can be confusing, but confusion is a good thing. Confusion is the gap between our prior level of understanding and the new level of understanding. So the only way you'll get to the new level of understanding is if you're willing to go through that period of confusion. And that's uncomfortable. And most of us, you know, it's natural, we prefer to be comfortable, and yet we've got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. In this context, we want to celebrate confusion and lean into challenges and see them as fun. And you do that best with a growth mindset. So I know we're going fast, but I'm trying to get through this as quickly as I can, because I know your time is precious. So the third aspect of mindset is grit. So persistence is another word for grit. So persistence is much more important than native intelligence in terms of learning and achieving and growing. So willpower, persistence, grit, those are all words that sort of mean the same thing. This outpredicts IQ for academic performance by a factor of 2. So there's a great book by Angela Duckworth called Grit. So native talent multiplied by effort gives you skills. Skills multiplied by effort leads to achievement. So effort counts twice. If you want to have a look at Angela Duckworth's book called Grit. So we can all increase our effort, so that's really quite exciting. So it's got to be smart effort, so intense bursts. It's not working just longer and longer and longer, it's working intelligently as we're learning, showing up consistently with our learning, getting a little bit better and performing at our best. So get your mindset right with hope, growth and grit. So, the learning enemy number 1, the fluency illusion. This is how most of us study most of the time. So if you're preparing for an exam, what do a lot of us do? We might look back over notes and then recognize things, they look familiar, and in our minds we're saying to ourselves, yes, I know that. The remedy, this is an illusion. It's a familiarity effect. So highlighting, rereading, rewriting doesn't actually help. What we need to do is create disfluency deliberately. And the researchers call this desirable difficulties. So rereading and masked practice, it can give you a feeling that you've got it. We need to pop that fluency illusion bubble and practice some more challenging things. So we need to, if we can expand on the work accomplished, this equation, the work accomplished equation now. So work accomplished equals time times the intensity in brackets multiplied by the quality of your study efforts. So you want to do the right kind of studying, okay? So I hope that makes sense, the fluency illusion. Okay, so there we go. Hopefully successful take 2 of this second session, the Learning Mini Masterclass series, and I was sharing some little bit before we started that I've just experienced an example of a growth mindset. I experienced an example of the growth mindset and leaning into challenges, because the the first time I ran this little live session earlier this lunchtime, I forgot to press a little button in a box that would allow sharing of my video, that little masterclass section, to share the audio with you through on the Facebook Live. So my hand up, even though I've been doing webinars for 6 years, I very rarely do a webinar or a session, a live session like this, where I live stream it into Facebook. So even an expert like me makes mistakes. I'm not too proud to admit that. That's part of life's rich tapestry of learning, how we learn, and not being afraid to learn. And I did find the quote for Nelson Mandela, a really great example of perseverance, resilience, and grit. You know, grit was referred to in that little training masterclass session. Now, one of a number of famous quotes that Nelson Mandela is famous for. He said, "Do not judge my success by my achievements, but by how many times I fell down and got up again." Do not judge my success by my achievements, but by how many times I fell down and got up again. So something just to think about and reflect on as you go through the rest of your day. Please leave a comment if you've learned something, if you appreciated anything about this session. Please give it a bit of like, a bit of love. I'm not needy, but it would do a lot for me as I put the effort in to deliver this little mini masterclass series to you. Share with colleagues. If you haven't watched the session 1, you'll find it on the Facebook page, and we've got 3 more sessions in this mini masterclass, so look out for those lunchtimes, and I'll see if I can find Simba the kitten for a live appearance tomorrow. Share the love, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching and listening and being patient and tolerant with me as I find my way through this. Bye for now.